And he's what's his like thing now? How long is Jared in prison?
And so doing federal time, like back in the day when Kyle did federal time, if Kyle got 1 year of federal time, Kyle would get 3 for 1. So you get 3 days for 1 day. And that's federal time because federal prisons are pretty loaded up, Kyle, right? Back when you were in locked up, they were loaded.
Wasn't that long ago.
Sorry, bro. So if you, but if you had 1 month to do, you're going to do 10 days, and that's it, because it's 3 for 1, 3 for 1, 3 for 1. And Jared had made a financial agreement with all of his victims, quote unquote, even though these ladies of the night were already paid, then they got paid again. So none of them came to testify against Mr. Fogel. But the judge knew that that's the game that he played. So he took a plea agreement for like 12 and a half years or 15 and a half years. But by that time, remember, if you're doing 3 for 1, you're going to do about 5 and be out. But she sentenced him to like 21 years to make sure he did all 15 and a half of his years. Mm-hmm. So he is already kind of up and over the hump, if I remember right. But I haven't been out there in a while to see him. So I'm going to. So
these girls, were they? You called them ladies of the night. Were they prostitutes?
They were paid. Prostitutes? They were paid. Yeah, they were all paid.
Yeah. It looks like what Zach linked is that he got in trouble for, what is it? Sex tourism. So he was going places for the purpose of having sex with people who were underage.
That's another thing of how do you prove it? But of course he was hanging out. Well, where's Kyle got to go? He's got to let the dogs out? Probably.
He's probably got one of the...
I'm going to take a piss while you talk about your girlfriend.
But yeah, I mean, so like, it's...
you can't be buddies with him after he gets out or anything.
You can't.
I'm surprised you're talking to him now. Really, like I really think I would cut all contact with someone if I find out. Actually, that's not a thing. I 100% know I would.
Yeah, and for me, I was like going. We were such good friends. I was like, fuck. And so I have not talked to him or seen him in 7 years now, and I just had a printed out thing on my computer's desktop. It was like, you should send him a letter. And so I did to this morning, which is bizarre, but and everybody's like, and oh my God, there is no worse crime than that crime. There is nothing. And you do not come back from that shit. He will never be seen in public again. You will never catch him and me in an airport ever again. Mm-hmm. But think about how on top of the world he was just for eating frickin' Subway sandwiches. So
he was, and then go to jail for it.
Yeah,
thankfully,
but his co-defendant has got like 30 some odd years or something. And his co-defendant's wife just went to jail too, so she fought it forever, and she ended up with a ton of years too. So, damn,
that's a whole lot of people spending a lot of time in jail for nefarious activities.
She got 33 years and 4 months. Oh, wow.
And
so they were 4 months tickles me,
but but they were like just the most disgusting, like creepy people. But they latched onto Jared and then enabled him, and he had a effing problem anyhow. Like it wasn't, oh, Jared was this. No, he was a creepy bastard. Like that is sick as could be. Mm. But then they were just feeding him a shit sandwich right there, and he was eating all of it. So
yeah, but he had to eat it. He had he was the money man, I would assume, like facilitating
absolutely,
all of this.
Absolutely. 100%.
And he wasn't doing it magnanimously. He's doing it because he wanted to have sex with
creepy.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to remove myself from him when all of that shit went down. And I was like going, all right, I'll be in Denver. Maybe I'll take a visit. Maybe I won't take a visit. But like I said, if you're right, if you find out some of your friends are up to this shit, you have got to be like, they are dead to me. But, I never knew he had a problem. He was not that person that I knew. So.
Oh yeah, there's no way you can hold someone accountable at all for their friend doing fucked up shit. If they encourage it and excuse it, of course. But that's unreal that you were friends with Subway Jared Fogle.
For
I have a
years.
Jokes aside, like 100% serious. When he gets out, do you think that he could have a career in
done? No,
not in the sandwich business, not in the sandwich business, but
he won't be able to be like a counselor. He won't be able to do. He will have to live in nowhere.
Well, definitely not a counselor.
Yeah, no,
well,
he can't even work in a high school.
He can't even.
Those are his favorite people, and
he can't even get a job at a daycare, Kyle. You don't get it. It's over for him. But he
can't be a school
if he
nurse.
had a podcast, if he had a Twitter that was interesting, like a whole social media thing, like I'll say this: OJ is very interesting. I watch OJ's
a podcast just called
all the time.
Foot Long.
Yeah.
The full 6 inches with Jared Fogle. You know, like
6 inches is funnier.
Yeah, that's
yeah. Well, yeah, you used to take footlongs or whatever else. So it's.
I hope not.
I wonder what his prison
this,
experience is like, because I know it can be tough for child molesters, but I assume he's in some protective unit with the other ones.
They are, and I figured that out too, because I was like, I told the CEO of my life, I was like, he's not going to last a week. Like he's going to be dead by the end of this phone call, basically. Yeah. And they, Inglewood has a protective side for chobos and whatever else. And of course he's on that side, but he got the complete living shit kicked out of him about 7 years ago. And, what probably well-deserved, but that's, what do you do? You like go if
he doesn't look like a fighter.
No, hell no. But I figured that Kyle may have bumped into him during his stint, but I guess not. So
I was down south. I was at the Alabama Federal Correctional Institute or whatever the fuck they call that nonsense place. Talladega. Yeah. It's in Alabama.
Sure.
No chomos there. Mostly tax cheats and ex gang members and shit, stuff like that.
Right. Was it minimum security? Is that what it was?
Yeah, you could call it. It's a camp. So
How long ago was this stint?
Fuck, it's been like 3-4 years ago now, right?
Yeah, like 3 years, probably.
Damn, man, you still got street cred with that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was in there with some scary people. Actually,
they called them White Lightning by the end.
There was somebody famous that was in the medium side of where I was
running around the track,
like not down low where
because he came too fast.
Well, there's that.
No, but seriously though, I would watch Jared Fogle's YouTube. I would watch his podcast. If he had, it sounds to me like he was traveling around doing a lot of fun stuff, and he has interesting stories. I like hearing like the stuff you did with him, the 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times or whatever. Like those trips sound interesting and fun. I bet he's got cool stories the same way that like OJ does. I don't.
Sure.
I guess it's a fair comparison. I don't mean that he's as bad as OJ. I guess
no. That's a fair comparison. That's a very.
He cut heads off. Those girls are fine.
Yeah,
they're compensated.
But yeah, I mean, it's just.
I wonder how they feel about their experience. Right, because it's voluntary. They were paid. Then they were. It looks like he paid him another $100,000 later.
$100,000 each victim. So, at what point do you be like, yes, creepy. No, don't want to have anything to do with these people.
I would watch a porno with Jared Fogle where he fucked the girl from Wendy, like have some other chick dressed up as her, and have him fuck Wendy. I would watch that. So he could have. He needs tell him that.
Kyle's like. I would watch his podcast, his YouTube, his chatterbait, his porn.
I'm a big. I mean, Travis likes Jared. I love Jared.
It's not. It's not that I like Jared. We were just friends.
Of course.
But this will come out on the YouTubes, and there will be video of you saying that you want to watch Jared go to Pound Town with the
we say ridiculous stuff.
Well, all right, but I want the Wendy's that's on the girlfriend that's on the sign. I don't know if you've ever seen Dave Thomas's real daughter or nephew or niece rather or whatever she was.
Sure,
that kid had not enough chromosomes or too many. I can never tell which, but that's like an ugly fucking child. Yeah, I guess if you,
Like
if you
your
want to
dog.
keep throwing Rocky under the bus, okay. who didn't do anything to any little girls, by the way. He's just down there being a nice boy, guarding the
I bet
house.
he humps everyone he meets.
He's fixed, poor guy.
Oh,
He's just got floof back there. Yeah,
floof.
But
floof.
so anyhow, that was when you went down prison lane. I was like, damn, I just sent a letter to a prison today.
Yeah,
and but yeah, I don't think there's a lot of people driving in the same car you are, because if he came out with anything on social media, Twitter or whatever else, and I don't know that he would legally be allowed to because of sentencing guidelines. I think there'd be more people waiting outside for him to kill him versus I don't know if he'll ever be able to set foot anywhere. So.
Well, I think that he can absolutely have, it's freedom of speech. They can't say he can't have a Twitter where he talks about the good old days of being Jared. Or I would self-produce a documentary. I would have a YouTube channel, and I would have a podcast if I were Jared Fogle. And I would tell Jared Fogle stories, and I would keep the sketchy stuff away from the show. I'm
gonna let you know the co-host of that show will not be Travis Bell at all.
I mean, someone's gotta be there for him.
No, I had my friendship. I feel like
you could do a themed race for him in your backyard, like Cops and Robbers, where he's there. Jared
Fogel, little dick, and he
did Jared Fogel have a little dick?
He did.
We're spreading misinformation. Potentially.
No.
Potentially.
What's he gonna do? Call us a liar? Like he's kind of got his hands full these days.
Yeah.
Our previous guest, I'm a very interesting man, lots of like accolades and accomplishments and such, but randomly came up. Good personal friend with Jared Fogel, going to see him in prison in a couple of weeks. Lives a couple miles from him. They went on trips together. Huh. Jared would ask him to go before, during, and after the arrest. Just so we're all clear.
Oh, wait, after?
Yeah, his friend before, during, and after. He's going to see him now. They're hanging out.
He kind of cut ties with him. He went
to his house and they put their phone. Did you? All right, maybe I misread or misunderstood. He said he went to Jared's house and they both put their phones on in the kitchen, and then they went somewhere else and had a conversation.
Oh, I interpreted that to be with his parents. Did I misread that?
I interpreted that to be he went and had a one-on-one with Jared Fogle about, hey man, how did I not catch on to this? How did I not know that you were, paying 15-year-old girls? That guy's a great friend. I would love to have him in my corner. Yeah.
I think Kyle hit the reality.
I don't know how I got
that guy's a real good friend. That's all. That's what I'll say.
I wouldn't want to hang out with Jared Fogle.
I would love to hang out with Jared Fogle, and
what would you ask him?
If he's ask him
one question in front of the phone, one question, no phones. What are they going to be?
My first question: I want to know what kind of discount he was getting on those Subway sandwiches. If he walked into one off the street, does he have the card where it's like, give it to me? This is Jared, give him free sandwiches. To just say that?
Oh yeah, 100%. He had that.
I know that he was making lots of money, like 10, 15 million plus or something over the years. Like Subway took care of him. And but main thing is why the children, Jared? Why the children?
He was doing so well with the sandwiches, and then he molested those kids, and now he's in jail.
You had that episode of South Park. That was fun. He didn't have anything to do with that. They made it about him, but
didn't have anything to do with that. I guess it was more about him than he being involved.
I guess I never really. No,
they didn't get him as a voice actor because every voice in South Park is the same two guys.
That's where our guest was wrong, though. He does have a future as soon as he's out. I would absolutely watch the Jared Fogle show. I would watch his videos. I would follow his social media. I'd want to know what he was up to. I want to know what happened in there. Being a famous
you and all the parents in the neighborhood.
Oh, everyone. Well, he'll be registered. They'll let us know what he's up to on a day-to-day basis. It won't be on Twitter though. I'd watch. I'd want to know. I want to know how he survived in there if he does.
What if he's like excellent? What if he gets out? What if he gets out of jail and he's like the best Fortnite player? And he's just slaughtering ninja. Like, damn.
He's found another way to
this son of a bitch weaseled his way back in to be around kids. Yeah. He's just doing what he can. Yeah,
well, he found.
I don't think he's going to get another job as a food. Actually, what restaurant would
Jimmy John's
would use? Jared Fogle.
Yeah, get him
Chuck E.
right back
Cheese.
in the sandwich business.
Chuck E. Cheese. That's good.
I've been out of the sandwich game for too long.
Or Dave and Buster's. Yeah, it could be Dave and Buster's.
yeah.
He could be like, it's not just for kids. Come on down.
Oh.
Come on down and attack
And
me. I'm here. I'm
Jared
here
would be
right
like,
now.
come on down Friday nights. And he can't, and at the end of every like Friday nights where you get 25% off our super pizza and bring your kids.
Yeah. 25% and 50% off the age of consent.
And bring your kids. He's just very direct about
Good
you
slogan.
need to bring your kids to get those discounts. It's the only way it works.
I think he's not going to get hired. I think he's
Probably not.
Does he think he needs to work again after that? You think like legal fees, et cetera? Like, has he lost this money in some way? If he made that much money, does he need to go back to work?
I bet he still has enough.
I bet his wife
Or maybe his
took
wife.
took a considerable chunk, and
He
kids
just
and
needed to
such.
put a decent investment in the S&P 500 and have it compound for the 21 years he was in prison. He'll come out a wealthy man.
Nah, he can do it in 11 years.
He needs to watch my Get Rich Slow in 22 years video. Teach him everything he needs to know.
First steps first, Jimmy. Do you know any young girls? I'm going to set you up with free room and board for the next 2 decades while your money grows. It's like cred maxing, except you become a. That's part of the Sam Hyde program. Like step 1 is the cred maxing, and then you
step
move
1,
on.
cred max.
Then
You ruin your credit forever.